going on, guys? It's Matthew here with your daily cyber news, or at least kind of daily. I was reading the news today and my jaw kind of dropped reading about this age verification check. And it kind of made me realize I need to do a quick video on this because I don't think a lot of people kind of understand how this is progressing. So without further ado, let's get into it. If you like the video, make sure to share it with some friends and whatnot. I'm trying to make this a more common thing alongside my other cyber stuff. And at this point, with how much cyber news I'm sharing, I really don't even know if a company will ever like me to be part of them. But maybe one day I will be able to be part of a cool company. Anyways, let's start at the very beginning. About a year back, the EU wants to scan every message sent in Europe. This article was made by The Guardian. And inside this article, it was basically the tug and pull between privacy and security. Which one would you rather have more, essentially? Now, would you rather have the government spying everything and making sure you're secure, or would you rather be doing it yourself in terms of privacy? Well, come to find out, more or less, as we see here in this paragraph, the idea that the scope for surveillance will expand is not baseless speculation. An unnamed Europol official, speaking to the EU Home Affairs General Director in July 2022, said that all data obtained by scanning people's phones should be passed to law enforcement without redactions. The reason? Because even an innocent image might contain information that could at some point be useful to law enforcement. Okay, so basically, no matter what, we should always just be giving up our information at all times. Hell, it might be important as well if we just give up all of our location data as well 24/7. So then we can find witnesses that were at the scene of a crime when a crime happened. They may not have actually seen the crime, but maybe they might know something or someone around the area, right? Genius idea. Now, there's also one last sentence from this one-year-old article that I found interesting, which is, encryption is key to protecting kids as well. Predators hack accounts searching for images. Okay. Well, fast forward to today, and we have new age verification app can be hacked in 2 minutes, claim security experts. So there's been this tug and pull essentially this entire time on security. But suddenly, they do this age verification that has been pushed on us the entire past couple of years. I think 3 or 4 years. Australia was the very first country that was actually pushing it significantly. And here we have April 16th, 2026. And updated April 17th, suddenly this app can be hacked in 2 minutes. Well, what they did with this app, which is any cybersecurity guy can tell you is stupid, they made it to where the app was privacy respecting, but completely hackable and able to get bypassed within 2 minutes. So this app is essentially everything's client side, nothing's looking at it server side. Okay. So now what they want to do is remove that privacy factor and instead make it mainly server-side dominant, which is essentially trying to say, hey guys, we made this originally be really privacy and, you know, it's really great and all. Oh, you discovered a hack in our age verification check? Oh no, let's just casually move it over to the server side now, and we fixed the issue. It's a really sneaky way, essentially, of getting past the privacy problem to now go back onto what they're saying in terms of security and getting onto your phones. Well, it gets a little bit worse than that, because these age verification laws are making people turn to questionable things, such as VPNs. Now, we already saw, for example, with Australia, there was a huge spike within VPNs. If we see here, Australia age verification causes huge spike in VPN usage. Watch, we'll see here. Let's see here. Indicating a 300% increase in downloads for VPNs. That was March 9th, 2026. That's effective March 9th, 2026. And here we are. The age verification laws are making users turn to unsafe free VPNs. On top of the fact that here we are just having it open and pop up. So here's the issue. What people will do essentially now is they'll grab the VPNs and they'll start using them. But because they're young, they just grab the first VPN that's at hand. And guess what? Some of these VPNs aren't even part of a company. Now, while I'm against this age verification setup, I'm also against the fact that now everyone's switching over to just download a free app and not looking on the background. Because what ends up happening I think it even says within this article, you can see here, Hotspot Shield was found to be injecting advertisements into users' browsers by using the same techniques that is used by cybercriminals to execute malicious code. Using its free, excuse me, Hola VPN, which turned devices using its free VPN into what essentially was a botnet, it then sold that botnet's bandwidth as a paid service through its web scraping platform Illuminati. But it gets even worse. Because then, if you go down forward, the first thing I notice is that the app doesn't list an address for this particular most popular free VPN that's out there. It doesn't list an address for the company owning it, limits contact email, and very unspecific terms of service. Okay, wonderful. But then on top of that, your VPN, if it's massively free like this, can actually be selling your data the entire time because you're not actually safe. So you're quite literally bringing all this traffic from you and your ISP to now going into this VPN tunnel, and then they sell that data and going through it. How else is the VPN free? Think about it. Now, all this stuff is kind of happening around, and in my opinion, when it comes to these age verification checks and whatnot, that's why you have parents. Parents are supposed to be the ones to put in these verifications and be like, hey, you shouldn't be on this app. Hey, you shouldn't be doing this. The problem is a lot of parents don't know how to do that. They aren't sophisticated enough with the technology to actually be able to do that for their kids, whether it be on the phones or anything else, which kind of makes me think about creating an app. But anyways, they're not sophisticated enough, or they just don't care, or insert any other reason. While all this is great, who's to say that like a kid just uses their parents' phone? Like, was I the only kid who looked at the age verification requirement, scrolled to 1960 and called it a day? And nowadays, in this case, just use a photo of your parents, or like, it doesn't make sense. So in my opinion, they're using this as a way to get in to everyone's technology, but we're not there yet. So continuing forward, even more information is coming on. Suddenly, EU challenges Google's search engine dominance and wants it to share its search engine data with competitors. So now we have stuff going on the phone, and now the EU wants the data to share with the search engines. Where was this? The aim of the measures is to allow third-party online search engines or data beneficiaries to optimize their search services, and contest Google's search position, the European Commission says in a press release published on April 16th. According to the Commission's proposed measures, Google should allow rival search engine providers access to its search data, such as ranking, query, click, and view data. Why? Well, here we go. Data is a key input for online search and for developing new services, including AI. Access to this data should not be restricted in ways that could harm competition. And finally, as I won't read the whole article, search engines must be able to innovate and keep pace with evolving users' needs. I cannot read today. Our work to create opportunities in this sector continues and comes at a crucial moment of growing interconnection with AI services, said Henna Verkunen, Executive Vice President for Tech Sovereignty, Security, and Democracy, adds to her colleague's statement. It really just sounds like she wants everyone's data for AI. I could be wrong, though. Then we have a little bit more of an update. So now we have EU trying to say, for example, that, Google should give up its data too. It's a good idea. Well, then we have France. France always does this sort of stuff. I don't know what is wrong with them, but whatever. France has ditched Windows 11 for Linux on 2.5 million government PCs. Here's why Microsoft should worry that millions more could follow by the end of 2026. Basically, France is switching over to Linux. Now, this is really awesome, and I'm really excited to see it. But as we're starting to see the internet fracture, this is starting to become slightly terrifying. Because if they're switching everything to Linux, who's to say then that they might not be trying to essentially firewall their entire internet, kind of like a certain country where, that totally doesn't end and start with the name China. Who knows, right? But it gets worse than that. You think it's over yet? No, we're only 10 minutes in. I have to hit 15 minutes for the video. U.S. tech kill switch risks undermining majority of EU defense systems. So because the United States can say, no, we do not want you to be using our programs. Instead, here we have them freaking out. Over half of European countries are critically reliant on U.S. cloud services for their national defense. Why? Why are they reliant on it? Exposing them to a high risk of a potential U.S. sanctioned kill switch. U.S. sanctioned kill switch. According to recent analysis by the Brussels-based tech thinking tank Future of Technology Institute. It's crazy. We just were looking at the Future Technology Institute, FODI, saying that they want all the data from Google. We see the age verification, and now they're saying as well, hey, we want to make sure that the US doesn't own any of our stuff, so what are we going to do about it? Which, okay, it shows that the EU is pulling away a lot from the states and what the US is holding up for them, so fine, so be it. But it's essentially creating this kind of blockade around them all at the same time. Which, alright. But with how this is going, and I'll show you as well, it's getting interesting. Here we go. The next one, finally. And this is the last one, because now this final one going back. Scientists slams the brakes on rush age verifications laws for teens. More than 400 security and privacy researchers and scientists from 30 countries have signed an open letter warning that proposed online age verification laws are flawed. The 405 signatories are responding to the worldwide initiatives to introduce age assurance technologies to limit access to child sexual abuse material and other potential harmful content on the internet. It goes on to argue that age verification tools aren't suited to solving the problem of limiting access to harmful content. Really? And they are easy to bypass. No way, it's almost like it only took 2 minutes. Underage internet users can circumvent restricted content by using a VPN. Check. Borrowing someone else's identity. Hi, parrot. Check. Or using AI tools to alter photos. What? There's no way that someone who's a teenager knows how to use AI. It's not that popular. In addition, age checks reduce privacy. Really? A server-side connection on a phone reduces privacy. That's almost crazy. Such as data breaches. Oh, you mean everyone's biometric data, including... Never mind. And increased surveillance. Well, that was obvious. Also, age verification may make users feel less safe online because the online behavior of others is not eliminated. Rather, it's simply relocated. You guys ever hear the saying of if you take everyone's guns away, you're actually only taking the guns away from the bad people, and now all the good people don't have guns because the bad people will always have guns? That's kind of what we're looking at right here. But anyways, the final thing I want to show you guys is this was a couple months ago, but it's kind of leading up to all this going on. France attacked Graphene OS because they refused to create a backdoor. Just for reference, France actually threatened them, as far as I'm aware. France actually threatened them, saying that you need to give up your information or we're just going to take it, because they were located on OVH servers. And OVH servers were in France, and OVH usually works with the French government. So Graphene had to essentially pull all their servers out of France. And for the record, this is a operating system that is extremely secure and private. As we see here from Graphene OS, France is taking state actions against Graphene OS. They're conflating us with companies which they previously gone after and taken over their servers. We aren't vulnerable being attacked in the same way, but we still don't want access to our website/network services being logged or our website being hijacked. France isn't a safe country for Graphene OS to operate in anymore. We're going to be protecting the project and our users by avoiding the country completely now. Something else I recently read is that if you're using the Graphene OS on a phone and one of the policemen saw you, for example, in France, they can actually arrest you because they think you're hiding something, because apparently privacy is a crime. Feel free to Google that. I'm pretty sure it was in a Reddit post recently. I found that to be particularly interesting. I'm really curious on these phones myself, especially since I'm into the security side of things. So, nevertheless, though, I found all this interesting. It seems that we're having a lot of privacy issues now in Europe, and it's getting crazier. So I don't really know what else to add. I felt that would be interesting to show you how it's been coming along the past few years. So if you liked the video, make sure to subscribe because you're probably going to get more content like this. And I'm thinking of posting some League content. I don't know. Maybe I might like show some League of Legends gameplay and like while I'm talking about this stuff, but then you guys won't be able to see it. So I don't know. Enjoy my rambling. Take care, guys. Have fun and bon voyage. Bye bye. Till next time.